gonna have to watch this to see how it's constructed. I, you're just gonna have to watch this. This is about money, ghosts, and God. This is going into the second part of it, and don't miss this. Don't miss this. Okay.
On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Abundant Life Cathedral Church, the church of tomorrow today. A ministry that is building the people that shape the world.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Dr. Ed's Sensational Sundays. Man, I'm so excited about the word. It's just, it's always life-breathing, life-giving, and encouraging and all that. I was thinking the other day, my little brother, well, he's not little anymore, but when he was a little boy, he thought he was Batman and you couldn't tell him anything else. Remember, we were talking about the I am factor last week, so he would always declare, I'm Batman. Who gonna be my Robin? Now I'm looking around like I'm older than you. But he had convinced himself so that his actions, he would wear the capes, he had Batman pajamas, all of that. What would you do if you knew that out of your mouth and out of your spirit, you are who God says you are? How would you navigate your life differently? Well, I'm gonna let Pastor tell you all about that. Here's Dr. Ed.
I don't see anything wrong with Batman. I think Batman is fantastic. Yeah, I could do Batman. Listen, I'm Ed Montgomery. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for allowing our sanctuary to come into your sanctuary. This is your place. This is your space. This is your time. Don't start frying the chicken or whatever you're going to do. Take this moment and take this time to inform yourself, educate yourself, enlighten, and energize yourself. This is the space to do it. I've been doing this for over 45, close to 50 years, and I have learned just one thing. I'm just not way out in front of you. I'm just one step ahead of you because I know some of the places that you go. And I know some of the places that you want to go, where you want to go, some of the things that you want to do. And I'm here to help you, that I can grab your hand and I can let you know, hey, you can do this. You can make this happen. Look, take a moment, hit that comment button. If you hear something today that you say, oh my goodness, I can't wait. I love this. Hit the comment button, and also hit that share button. Share it with people. Sharing is one of the most important things you can do. Share it and then like it. Facebook, YouTube, all these different platforms they like their algorithms. That's how they live, by their algorithms. I don't necessarily do it, but they do, so it helps us to help reach out to you. Now, this is going to be a different presentation of message. I just tell you what happened. Last week, I got happy. That's how we used to say it in church. If you ever been in an ALC church service, Abundant Life Center church service, you know that sometimes we get into those services and get to ministering, and I start going over time, and the people say, go ahead, just go ahead. And it's a real high moment, but my time is up, but they say go ahead, and then I just do it. And what happened was, last week I felt a go ahead. I didn't hear nobody say it, but I could feel it, and I got into that afterglow of it. But it was too long. I couldn't put that out. So through this miracle of television and editing and everything, I just cut it. And so I saved it to go into it. It's almost a stock market, high stop loss class in a sense, but it's something I wanted to share with you today. So it's going to the rest of the tape that I continued ministering last week. I just didn't stop. But I'm going to be right here. Here's what's different. I'm going to be right here with you live. So I'm going to be watching your comments live and watching this along with you live. So this is what's going to be different. So don't you go anywhere. We're talking about money, God, and ghosts. And this is the story of Peter walking the water, but in a way it's being told like we've never told it before. So watch this and get a hold of that button and start liking this and telling folks, because we going into it. All right? Okay, I'm watching with you. Jesus, instead of being that kind of Jesus, said, I got to make a connection with my disciples. Not just my disciples, but my friends. He called them his friends. That's what connections are about. It's about friendship. It's about relationship. I think if we understood how to treat one another and treat each other, it would change a lot of things in our lives. Listen, you don't have to gush all over somebody or, give them, I'm going to give them a last drink of water. You don't have to do that. You might give them half of it, but I have to give them all of it. What I'm saying is you got friends, you got associates and things of that sort. These were people that he had learned to be with, that he had trusted them with his life and everything. And the funny part about it is he trusted them with his life and they still, ran away at the last minute. But that's neither here nor there. Jesus goes out on this water, and it's not a miracle thing. It's a help my friends thing. And he begins to walk the water. I don't know how it looked, but it was in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock, probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of a storm. And I believe that the reason they saw him, because they saw him walking on the water, it was so dark. By the time they saw him, he was either that close, or they saw him between the sound of the clap of the thunder and the spark of the lightning. So they probably saw his image or shadow or whatever, and it scared the living daylights out of them. They had any Hellman's mayonnaise in them, it scared it out of them. And it says they cried out and they said, it is a ghost. This was their childhood. They grew up. This is the superstition of the disciples. This is what we have a tendency to lay back on when we don't understand what something is. When we're about to go into a horizon that we've never been to, into a future of our lives that we've never seen before. Fear can make you do things, think things, and act in ways that you've never acted before. I was talking to someone. We've been talking about what's been going on in our politics, what's happening with Republicans, and everybody likes to say, well, if it's happening with Republicans, it's the Democrats also. Well, on this particular case, it's not as much that, and I'm not Democrat or Republican here. But there is something that is happening on that Republican side, that there is a lot of anger. And what we're beginning to understand is what's under anger is fear. And we're beginning to realize that it is the fear that America is not going to be majority white. It's not going to be majority black. It's going to be a multiplicity of people. America is going to be shared, hopefully. America is going to have people who are going to say that when it talks about all men are created equal, everybody in America is going to feel, that's an American is going to feel that I'm created equal just like everybody else. 4th of July should be all Americans' holiday. And there are some that are fighting hard against this, and they're trying to take it by taking it out on voters' rights. And of course, there are people on the other side that say, well, that's not what it is. But we all know what's happening. And what's happening underneath all of this is a fear. It is the fear of ghosts. What happened during the enslavement of people? What happened during that historical moment? What happened during the Civil War? What happened when one side wanted to keep slavery and one side tried to end it? What happened? This country built on the backs of enslaved people. What happened? Separating people of color. What happened? When you have young people in 2021 who have fathers of one color, mothers of one race, of another race. You have people who are coming from so many different backgrounds. And now we're seeing this turmoil that is happening, this fear from the past, this superstition. And people are crying out. They're looking at ghosts. And a lot of it has to do with money. Because when you have the money, you control power. And when you have power, you're able to pull the levers of power. So therefore, if we can keep you from having power, we can keep you from moving the country into particular directions of life. And you have people that are saying, we want our country to move in a Christian direction. And you know what? It doesn't matter what color they are. You got people of color that are saying, we want a Christian direction. I'm sure some of you are saying, we want to move in a Christian direction. That's fine. But define Christianity. Has the definition of Christianity changed? What does Christian mean to you? You know, back in those days of the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution, they didn't believe that enslaved people would have those particular rights to vote or those kind of things of that sort. They were just doing what they believed. All men are created equal. But we interpret these documents over time. We make them our own so that all people who are citizens of the United States of America can say we hold these truths to be self-evident. When you make it your own, don't discard it. Make that document your own. Make these words your own. This is what Scripture is. We are taking Scripture and taking a 2,000-year-old document and making the words our own. This is what Peter did. If you heard the previous message, when everybody in there was screaming, it's a ghost, Peter, one of Jesus' disciples, asked the question, in so many words or less, are you a ghost? What's up with you? If it's you and not a ghost, then let me come out to where you are. Just tell me, come. Jesus said, come. Peter got out of the boat and he took a risk. Now, this was a risk, not a gamble. We had talked about stocks last week. We talked about what happens when the stock market plunges, when it drops. One of the things that is very important, especially those who are playing around with stocks and things of that sort, commodities, one of the little things they have in there is it's important that you have something called stop losses in them. And a little stop loss is if you have a stock that's worth $10, you say, well, I don't want this stock to go down below $9. So I want to put a stop loss at it. If it go down to $9, get me out of it automatically. We got computers that do that. Or if it go up to $12, get me out of it so I can make $3 and then, but then there are people who are trying to make a huge killing. Well, I'm going to take it up to $20 and put that stop loss down to $5. It ain't going to go down that far, but I don't want it to go down and then stop me out and on and on and on and on. And the goal is to be able to make a little money here, a little money there, a little money this. You got to make increments. That's calculated risk. Gambling is when you just don't care nothing about where those stops is at all. I'm going to believe God. When you're in life, even in the spiritual life, we are taught to study, to show thyself approved as a workman that needeth not be to be ashamed, rightly dividing the words of truth. We are taught to learn this thing. Yeah. We are taught to get information, to learn about what the blessing is. So that when we stand up and say, I'm blessed, it's not just some feeling and some little doodads that God. We feel the blessing. We know what the blessing is. And when you know what it is, then you're feeling. You got to have the education before you can get the feeling. Don't just feel it. You got to have the education and the feeling. You got to have the mind. I'll never forget somebody, minister once said, if you're going to believe God for a car, if you want to believe God to get a brand new car, don't just think about that. You need to go down to that dealership, go into that dealership and say, excuse me, can I sit down? And he says, sure. And you go in there and you sit in that car. If that's the car you like, you sit in that car and you say, thank you, Lord. Close your eyes, and while you sit in that car, you see it in your mind and feel it with your behind. When you can see it and feel it, see it and feel it, see it and feel it, then what happens is the feeling begins to drive your thinking drives your feeling, and it becomes real. Listen, hit that like button if I'm talking good for you today. If I'm talking good, hit that like button. Hit that comment if you said, oh my goodness. Some of you got some things right now that you've been seeing it, but you ain't been feeling it. You've been trying to make yourself believe it, but forget making yourself believe it. See it. And then turn around and say, you know what? I feel this thing. Don't just feel it and not see it in your mind. You got to get both of them going. And Peter saw himself walking the water. He pulled that sense of gambling down. It wasn't a gamble. It wasn't a gamble. He said, well, he gambled when he got out of that boat to walk that water. No, he wasn't gambling. Number one, it was a calculated risk. Why was it a risk? Why did he calculate it? He had some stop losses in there. Oh, yeah, he did. You know why? Number one, here was the question. If it's a ghost, we're already dead. Kabam. If it's a ghost, it's coming to get us, we're dead. Might as well, hey, if it's Jesus, if he's coming out here to get us now, he's not going to let me die. So I might do better going out to where he is instead of waiting on him to get to this boat where these crazy people are talking about, we're going to die. So he said, I might do better on the water. And if I sink, he'll probably catch me. If he doesn't, then he wouldn't have been out here in the water in the first place. So this was a calculated risk. This is what faith is. This is growth. This is what the growth of faith is about. It is growing your faith to the extent that faith is not just accepting something blindly. It is walking there with your eyes wide open. It says, and when he saw the winds boisterous, it says, it troubled him. It agitated him. When he saw the winds, he began to sink because he started thinking about, I'm about to lose this thing. Listen, if you're going to make money, there's no need of going into this thing thinking, what if I lose? If you're going to go to school and get an education, there's no sense in thinking about, now after the education is over, what if I can't get a job? There's no need to go in that direction. If you're going to change careers, don't just change careers because you think there's money in it. There might be money. You might be going to another job where there's $2 more an hour. But if you go to maybe the job you left, they got a bonus that's 60 days away. You got to take that bonus amount of money calculate it over the last month, you know what you got to do and get the numbers in there. You might find out it might be more of a $3 hour bonus for the next 6 months than just getting $2 for the next. You might find out. Take the risk. Get the calculation. Faith is about calculations. Faith is about not just believing God can with your mind. It is about trusting that I've put my trust in you. I got my hand in his hand. I am trusting that my faith, that I'm in the cycle with God. I'm in the circle with him. That right now, when the earth goes around the sun, it might go around on the other side and you might not see it, but it does not mean that earth is not there. It also means that if it's going around the sun, it means that if it goes that way, it's got to come back again. I believe that life is about cycles and circles, that what goes around, as grandmama used to say, comes around. It's coming back to us. When you give, it comes back to you. When you plant, it comes back to you. When you act a fool, it comes back to you. When you hurt people, it comes back to you. When you do bad things to people, it comes back to you. There's some things America's going to pay for. So I hope they're listening now. Hit that share button. Hit that comment button. Especially hit that like button. Let everybody know you like this, because if you like it, if I'm talking some good things for you, let everybody know that I like it. I hear what you're saying. Peter calculated, and he was right. There was a stop loss on that stock. As he started sinking, Jesus grabbed him. Kabam! Pulled him up, probably pulled him by his hands and looked at him and said, "Oh, ye of little faith, what did you doubt for? You know I was coming to get you." Listen. I'll be right back. I'll just be right back. Hello, this is Ed Montgomery. There's an ancient text that says, "Count it all joy," or consider it joy when you deal with different or various trials. For the trying of your faith works or creates endurance. And I think we all have to say we've had to endure a lot in these last 14 months. Getting through COVID, transitions, jobs, finance, health. Oh, it's just been so much. But I want you to know that we can't stop here. There's another space. There's another place. There is another horizon. ALC is about to move into its next phase of ministry. And I want this phase to be the best. And I've prayed and I've asked God, just give me whatever it is you're going to give me, because I want to help people move to that next place in their life. And there were 3 things that I heard deep in my spirit. And those 3 things are this: pursue purpose, grow faith, and enjoy your journey. Help people pursue their purpose, grow their faith, and enjoy their journey. Purpose is something that we need in order to move forward. Faith is what keeps us going on. But none of it is worth anything if you can't enjoy the journey. So I want you to take a moment. Help me get this vision off the ground as we move into a new facility, a new vision, a new space. And do what you can to keep us going forward. This is our 40th year. Yes, 40 years of ministry. And I want to make this our best years. So I want you to take a moment, go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. And hit that donate button. Mash it, crash it, smash it. And the screen will pop up and it'll tell you how to give. You can decide how you want to give, whether it's your tithe, an offering, whatever you're going to give. Put the number 40 in it. It'll make a huge difference. Just put that number 40 somewhere in whatever you're going to give. Or of course, you can use your app. Your app is special. We're working on the app every single week, and we're going to continue to work on it because we want that to be a place where you can go and listen to us on the radio. You can watch this broadcast, all those things, because it'll be right there on your phone. And you can also do what is so popular, giving through text. And all you got to do is just take your phone, and all you got to do is type in that phone number, 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. And send whatever message or amount you want to give, whether it's $10, $15, $20. Just type the number 20 or 50 or whatever number you want to give in that text message box. And then click the send arrow button or whatever, and it'll go right to us. If it's your first time, it's going to open an account for you, but it only takes seconds in order to establish it. Or of course, you can give through the post office box. That's something that there's some of us that said, I just want to do this by check. And that's what you can do. You can send it, mail it to Abundant Life Center or Abundant Life Cathedral, same place. P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas 77215. Look, I'm at a place right now where normally a lot of these ideas and things that we're about to do and buildings we're about to go in and that are being developed even right now. Normally I'd have Sandra to be able to bounce all of these ideas off, and now she's transitioned. She is in the arms of the ancestors and sitting at the table of the elders. But at the same time, I have you. And I have you praying for me, lifting me. Some of you I bounce ideas off of. But more than anything, I need you to help me. Help me with your prayers, and also help us with your support. Hit that donate button. Make that contribution. Do it now. Do it today. Because I believe in the next years, doesn't matter what your age is, we're going to help you do those three things. Pursue your purpose, grow your faith, and enjoy your journey. Looking forward to seeing your name. Thank you in advance. Prayers are always with you. Look, Joy is going to be right here with you. I am right here with you at this time. You know, normally this is our first Sunday, and on our first Sunday, ALC stands for Abundant Life Center, Abundant Life Cathedral. What we normally do is it's what we call communion. It is the cup, it is the bread. And we're not doing that physically today, but we're going to do it spiritual because soon, it's like Jesus once told his disciples, the next time I do this with you, I'm going to do this in my Father's house. And when we come together, I wrote a book on it, what happens when we come together and when that cup and when that bread is brought together physically. And you're going to do that. And that's going to be, who knows, listen, we're going, oh, that's right, this is July. It's not going to be long. It's not going to be long. Some of us may not get back together at first, but we will. Do you realize that it's almost been a year since our leading lady, Sandra Lane, passed on to be with the Lord? And I know, I guess, you know, some say, yeah, I see that. You know, to me, it's almost like it was just last month. But I'm going to Ohio pretty soon to be with her family and to see them and to just be there and minister and weep with them, memorialize with them, and because I haven't been home since. and be with my family and just make it a time. I'm asking for your prayers as we enter into this 7th month. ALC was born around this time 40 years ago, and we'll be coming up on that whole entire anniversary in August. Make sure you give your whatever your $40 in that 40th number. However you give it, 40, 440, 140, whatever you do, put the number 40 in it. I also want you to know that I'm praying for you and praying for your family. Although we haven't seen each other and talked with each other other than over internet and things of that sort, I am praying for y'all. I got names. I write. I try to stay in much contact as I can. But it won't be long now. And we're going to be making sure that we keep that contact like never before. We're going to a whole new place. ALC. The space we're about to go into is going to be different. I shouldn't say that. We're not going back to the same building we were in, but they're working on this building, working on the space right now. They're preparing it just for you. And I can't wait to share more information with you. I want to encourage your families, and I want to encourage you to be everything that God created you to be. I believe that your best days are ahead of you. Something brand new is about to happen in your life. So you might as well get ready, because this is not the end. Yep, Peter sunk. But next week, I'm getting ready to tell you what happened. The Lord woke me up this morning. They're telling me it's time for me to get out of town and let y'all have your hot dogs and your ribs and whatever you're going to eat. And nice little grilled chickens, a few hot dogs, potato salad, baked beans, red soda, but your mouth gonna all be red. And you're just gonna enjoy your 4th of July, sitting back, relax, do your thing. And remember, I love you. Father, I thank you. Meet every need. In Jesus' name, amen. See, I told you I was going to get you out of church early today. All right. Well, started me. I know the Lord blessing me right now.